So let me present you what we plan to deliver this year. This does not mean that we are not working on other things that will be delivered on 2021, but that longer term topic will be for another day, maybe earlier next year.
Sorry to interrupt, Vincent, we do not see your screen anymore.
You do not? Can you see my screen here? No.
Maybe you stopped sharing it.
Oh, yes. All right.
You're back
again?
Yes.
All right. Sorry, I didn't show anything interesting here. All right. So the big theme for us in 2020 will be what we call enterprise readiness. We want to bring Intuiface to the level of the enterprise platform, which are used in sales, in marketing, these kind of things. And if as we wanted to do that, so we have been looking at how we can define the key features which are very important for claiming enterprise readiness. So we have found a website which is very clear about that, enterpriseready.io, and that website is proposing 12 very important features to be enterprise ready. And so that's kind of benchmark for us. So we have the product assortment that all the product line are pretty good there. Single sign-on, audit trail, role-based access control, change management, product security, deployment options, the management integration, analytics, SLA, and GDPR, right? So a lot of very important capabilities, and right now Intuiface is covering only some of them, like product assortment, a tier for everybody, change management. We provide a way for updating, for example, experiences on the cloud, etc. Deployment options, we're pretty good there, like how to deploy the result of your composer offering. Integration, we're very good here. Analytics, we're super good here. SLA and support, we are also pretty good, and we, you know that everybody can go anytime on status.intuiface.com to check the health of our infrastructure, and GDPR too. Right. So we need to make progress in other areas, and that's the program for 2020 for us. The first one is product security. We have studied an ISO 27001 certification process a year ago, even more than that, and we are very close, very, very close to be ISO 27001 certified. That should occur in the coming weeks, if not days. So we are pretty proud of that and pretty proud of that effort. And this will allow Intuiface to have a seamless introduction into large organization where IT has a lot of says when selecting a platform. Second is deployment option. Although we are pretty good already there, we are making progress, and I'll show you the feature that in the short term we are going to deliver. And the other biggies are single sign-on and audit trail, as well as role-based access control and team management. So I'm going to show you the development that we have started to do, and which we hope to deliver sometimes at the end of this year. So let me start with shorter term. By shorter term, I mean to be delivered by June this year, new deployment options. So as you know, when you are installing a player, you need to either enter your Intuiface account credentials or a license key, right? So what we are implementing right now is a way to activate a player using either an 8-digit number or a QR code. So by, for example, if you are launching a player from your mobile phone, you can go on My Intuiface and enter the player activation. If the My Intuiface recognizes this number, there will be an automatic assignment of a license. Even better, if you scan the QR code with your mobile and are logged into My Intuiface, then you'll go directly to that screen, which allow you to activate right away the license, or to also enter more information such as player tags, notes, and another name for that device, right? So no more key entry, and that's what we could call like contactless player activation. In addition to that, for mass deployment, we are going to provide a way for you to create an Excel file or a CSV file where you are going to list all your devices you want to activate with Intuiface, hardware IDs, either MAC ID or serial number, name of the device, any kind of player tag you want, notes, and even if you wish, assign specific licenses. So you create that file, you upload it into My Intuiface, and boom, every time a new player connects to the Intuiface deployment cloud with a specific hardware ID, which is matching one of these, boom, your license is automatically assigned to that player, and that player appears directly on your deployment console, right? So that's for the short term. And so let me go a little bit longer term before the end of this year. We are now looking at how we can bring in the user concept within an Intuiface account. Right now, you know, we have the primary account and secondary account. That's the two kind of, I would say, users you can bring in. But now we are going to let you define users, right? Going beyond accounts. And for each user, assigning roles. You'll be able to go deep into a role by defining the different permissions for a specific user in your project. And we will also provide the concept of project, which is a kind of secondary account on steroid, which will bring together your users with specific roles, your licenses, and the experiences which are part of an overall project, knowing that an Intuiface account will have the ability to manage multiple projects. So that's globally what we are working on when we in our new team management, role-based access control, and of course, alongside these evolutions, there will be an audit trail who has published that experience and when, who has deployed this experience on which player, this kind of things. So as we are ourselves going through the ISO 27001 process, right, we have also understood how this kind of feature are extremely useful for large organizations, for control purpose, for ensuring security of any deployment of experiences. So a big chunk of the R&D team is product team is working on this set of features. The other big theme is yes, an Intuiface CMS. So we have been asking a lot about yeah, but I know that what you can do with a composer. I know that we can use Excel. We can connect to any CMS out there as long as that CMS has an API, etc., etc. So we went out with that, but we keep getting this kind of questions and requests within the CMS. And in addition to regular CMS, we want also to make sure that everything we manage is also synchronized at the player level. So the goal of our CMS that we are currently calling a cloud content library will be to, of course, like regular CMS, to change the experience content, media, and beyond media, text, and any type you can find in Intuiface using a web UI, right? Deeply aligned with Intuiface concept, you'll be able to manage collections, groups, and again, any type of Intuiface data and content and media. Very important piece of that cloud content library, the ability for a player to synchronize the content and cache that content which is stored into the cloud in case there is the internet is dropping off, and to accelerate some of the query that you can do from the player. Cloud Content Library will be connected with everything I talked about earlier, role-based access control, audit trail, and there will be something very interesting that I'm going to present to you right now. So let me do a live demo right now, and I'll would like as an agency or as a designer to design an experience for a car dealership, right? So there is a logo, there is a name, there is an address, their opening hours, and there is a team. Here is a very simple car dealership experience I would like to have in my car dealership in Toulouse right now. So let me switch to the demo. I assume that everybody can see that, otherwise I will be yelled at.
Yep, looks
good. All right, so I am creating a content cloud library, which is linked to my Intuiface account with a name, description. I can pick, as you all know, our storage provider is AWS, so you'll be able to pick an AWS region, the closest to your users. And let me define a structure. So in my experience, I have a first component, which is which is about the dealership info, right? It's a group. I can add a description here. Let me save it. And each car dealership, or my car dealership, has, of course, the name, which is required, and let's make it not too long. And the dealership has also an address, right? So required text, long text, it's okay. And you see all the kind of type, media, values, properties I will be able to put in my content library here, right? And I can also create another one, which will be about my team members. Which will be a collection, not a group, like in Intuiface. All right, and each team member will have the following properties. Each team has, of course, the name of the person, right, required, and we'll also have an image as the profile picture. Required 2, right? And let me add a limit of 5 meg here. All right. Okay. What I'm not going to show you on the brief code again, because that's not yet developed, is within a collection, you'll be able to insert a collection. Within a group, you'll be able to insert a group and a collection, etc., etc. So you'll be able to have nested components like you have in Intuiface, right? Okay. And if I go to content, so once I have done my structure, I give access to hitting that the content of that structure to, for example, my client, who is the dealership owner. So I'll go there, enter dealership name here, Toulouse. All right. And for a team member, right, a collection, I can add somebody like Lucy and attach a picture here, this one. I'll be able also to add new items in my collections. So I can design my structure, I can design, and I can feed that structure with a specific component. Okay. And then I can, for the next part of the demo, I have an issue, right? My issue is that I have one car dealership, but I have another one in Paris. So these are 2 locations. And because I am selling to international consumers, I want my experience to be either in French or in English, right? That's 2 languages. That's 4 variations of my experience. So how do I structure that in my cloud content library? So what I do is I am going to use the concept of variant. So let me come back to what I did, my dealership information, and I'm going to create 2 variants. First one is location, which will be in that color, save, and I will add Toulouse, save, and I will have Paris, right? And another variant, which I will call language, and I'll put that here, and first will be English, and second will be French or Français, right? Okay, and dealership info, everything will be different depending on the location, the name of the dealership, the address, opening hours, and I am going to say that it depends on the location variant, right? And regarding the name of the dealership, it will be linked to the language variant. The address doesn't change, and the opening hours, the way we describe opening hours, will be either French or in English, right? Okay, so again, a way to factorize all these different variations I have in my experience. Let me go to the last part of the demo here, and to show you how does that look when it's done. So I have the different variation here, Paris and Toulouse. Everything is changed, as you can see in the different properties here. And for English and Français, only the dealership name and open hours are changed. Same for the team members. I have all the variation here, and they are changed according to the structure I have defined in my cloud content library in terms of variants, right? So let me go back to the rest of my presentation. I have to speed up a little bit. So I have shown you how to create a content library, how to use variant to express the various variation you might have. And we have also a workflow, right? So workflow is first, when you are going to create a structure, you will make some changes and you will be asked what you want to publish. So I'm going to go a little bit fast. I'm changing a lot of properties in my structure of my content libraries. I'm deleting a name, for example, and I'm changing the name of the property of my picture, changing my, adding a job description, and these are different changes which are ready to be published, right? So when I have changed my structure, it's ready to be available for filling out content. And here, a different and more sophisticated workflow when I'm going from a draft stage to a stage for publish to a publish now. So we have, again, you can control how the different media and content that you are entering into the cloud content library will be available in your experiences. So you can draft everything, you can make them ready for publication. And at some point in time, you just want to publish the result, and that result will be shown on the experience that you are creating. All right. So let me go to my next one. My folks are pressing me. On the composer side, exactly like when you have an access to Excel or an interface asset through API Explorer, you'll get an access to all the fields and all the variations, all the variant of your content cloud library, including stages. Here, you will be able to, for example, do some bindings with a location. So depending on where your kiosk is running, automatically this will bind onto the right location, which is a variation on your variant location, and adjust automatically. You'll be able, of course, also to, depending if you click on one of these buttons, to trigger and set a variant in your cloud content library, so everything is also changed automatically, depending on what you have done in your library. All right. Last point, just an overall comparison of our cloud content library with a CMS, Excel, Airtable. A lot of blue checked on cloud content library, of course. One thing very, very important, which our users, long-time users, have been waiting for, will be able to provide a way to sort and filter any content coming out from a cloud content library, including caching any media locally on the device. All right, so this will enable you to have more users taking advantage of Intuiface, accessing to the content part of the cloud content library. And this should be available in 2020. Well, that's still the plan. And we go through a beta process. And the new deployment option that we discussed at the beginning of that presentation should be available by June. Thank you.